Give honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully, luck. Um, just back again, real quick. You know, um, because again, hey, pursuant to the title, man, get right into it. Of course, the fact that we know something's coming. We don't know when, how, what, where, why. We don't know how it's going to play out, whatever the case may be. But we know something's coming, and it's only a matter of time. We understand that at any day, any second, things can pop off. All right, so that's why all the more to be circumspect, be careful out here. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna start off with this. Up in Tobit chapter 4 and verse 14. Let not the wages of any man which hath wrought for thee tarry with thee, but give him it out of hand. For if thou serve God, he will serve also. Slakia. For if thou serve God, he will also repay thee. Be circumspect, my son, and in all things thou doest, and be wise in all thy conversation. All right. And of course, going into that conversation, can tie into how we conduct ourselves and things of that nature, as of course, as well as the things that we speak, just how we conduct ourselves, from the manner of speech and, everything in between and whatnot, because, Esau, man, the top wicked elites, the fact that they're looking for any excuse to come against this ministry, to come against brothers and whatnot, to shut us down, and there's all type of spies and agents all around us. I just did a live earlier today about how I was touching on, because even the scriptures talk about Yahushua told us about not being offended when these offenses come, because hey, don't be surprised. It showed you that in the movie Total Recall, where the whole time the chick that the main character was dealing with turned out to be an agent. So don't be surprised, man. Hey, your rib ends up flipping you out, ratting on you or whatever, moms, pops, whatever the case may be, but that's just on another note, because again, as I mentioned in earlier's live about how strange we're coming into very peculiar times, and I also mentioned how, hey, just things are going to start happening that a lot of Jake's not ready for. There's going to be a true test of the spirit, the mind, the flesh. So we're coming into those times more and more. So, like the scripture say, examine yourselves whether we be in the faith. Because especially now that we're coming into a Passover season, which is a very heavy season when it comes to sifting. All right. So just more and more understanding the times that we're in. All right. But without further ado, I got this video here. This is about Lisa Haven. She brings out quite a few points, good points. That's pretty much summed up, because I was instead of just doing separate lessons on each and every one of these topics individually, like I said, she pretty much through the spirit just sums a lot of things up. So just through the spirit, like I said, I got this video by Lisa Haven that I'm going to play. It says it's about to go down in 2024. Remember the government warning signs popping up. So without further ado, here we go.
And honestly, I don't put anything past them at this point. I mean, they've gone through multiple indictments against a former sitting president with no recourse, taking him off the ballot and the whole 9 yards. So I really see a bumpy road ahead for us. In fact, there's a lot of, shall we call it, fear mongering when it comes to 2024, especially from those on the left. Take a look at what I'm talking about here. This is on unheard.com. The world should fear 2024. Here's another one, and this is on ground.news. I don't think we'll get to the 2024 election, says Colonel Douglas McGregor. Then we also have NPR retired general warns that the U.S. military could back a coup after the 2024 election. And then we have the Black Swan event could derail the 2024 U.S. election, warns entrepreneur Gary Cardone. And then we have this as well, which I did a report on. This is Wall Street Journal. CBS reporter predicts Black Swan event in 2024, fertile ground for our adversaries. And then we also have this. Putin ally says U.S. civil war will be good for the world.
And you know, because as it's been coming out through the spirit, a lot of things point to, now of course it's just said speculation. All right, I don't know, none of us know, no one knows the day nor hour, but a lot of signs, well, a lot of what Esau, what he puts out there, what he's been putting out there over the years, you know, a lot of signs lead to something taking place this so-called year, new year or whatever, you know. And of course we just have to wait and see. But I'm in the process of watching this movie that the apostle Aramlab, he had mentioned it, you know, through the spirit. He did some digging, did some research, and because, you know, one brother pointed out the fact that in the movie, oh man, damn, what's the movie called, man, with Denzel? God damn, my memory is shit, man. But basically, I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. But there was a particular scene in the movie where they had this poster of another movie. I think it came out in the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. And the name of that movie being A Boy and His Dog, which was set to take place in 2024. And the movie starts out with the nuke going off, you know, nuclear explosions and things of that nature. You know, so I'm in the process of watching that. You know, like I said, I just say all that to say, because again, you know, Esau's putting it out there. He's been putting it out there for this year. You know, something to take place this year, which again, of course, you know, it's no coincidence. This being the election year. All right, I'm gonna play on some more.
No, that will not be good for the world. But I find it rather interesting that we've got all these predictions from leaders, from media personnel, from military people saying, well, the 2024, all around the 2024 timeframe, you know, around the election, we may not get there. We may have a Black Swan event. Maybe these crazy things might happen. It's almost as if they want it to happen. And you know what's really interesting? And I want to bring this up as a reminder, is over in New Jersey, the United States government was putting up signs saying, if you see something, say something. Let me go to the news report here as a quick reminder, because I think this ties into it. This is Fox News. New Jersey sparks terror fears with see something, say something roadway campaign. Drivers in New Jersey had been greeted with roadway signs that read, suspect terrorism, see something, say something, with a tip line number to report. Anyhow, nobody knows the future. Nobody can predict anything like that. All I do is read the headlines, let you know what people. Meanwhile, we've got to state how long they're doing this campaign. It ran.
Slovakia did not mean to do that, but damn, this is crazy, man. Bear with me. This phone's just at 60%. Now it's about to go dead, man. It's crazy, but I want to get this real quick, and Mark, and I might have to do a part 2 because. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm gonna get this in the book of Mark. What was that? Chapter 3. Mark chapter 3, verse 1. And again, that's why I mentioned, you know, or I read in Tobit, you know, just being circumspect in conversation, even as far as the things that we speak, you know, and to the ways that we conduct ourselves, just, you know, in all aspects and all angles, you know, just be careful, because Esau is looking. All right. And like I said, there's a lot of spies and agents. So I'm going to get this, Mark chapter 3, verse 1. And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. So you see, that's again, you know, going back to how Esau's looking for the perfect setup, you know, anything to demonize, to come against us, just like with Yahushua. You know, they were always trying to catch him up in some shit, you know. Oh, they're always trying to get him caught up in something, you know. So that was just a quick point, because You know, that was a thing for a while, kind of swept under the rug as far as you see something, say something, you know. But just be mindful, be careful.
Goes on to state how long they're doing this campaign. It ran through September of last year, and it's going to go on through mid-February of this year, and it has over 200 signs in its grasp. So interesting that it continues on through the new year in 2024 in January and mid-February. So those signs are still popping up for our New Jersey residents, warning of some kind of suspicious activity that needs to be reported by terrorists. And then immediately we arrive in the new year, like pretty quick here, and then this happens, like fairly quick, right? Take a look at this. This is on NewYorkPost.com. Cops recover suicide note after deranged man drove car packed with explosives into a crowd at a Rochester concert. Now, I believe
Now they're suspecting this to be either one or two things for the most part. You know, just some disgruntled, depressed individual, or this could be a possible terrorist attack. All right, which that's been in circulation of the news as of lately, preparing for these terrorist attacks.
they're still getting information. It could have been some depressed guy. It could be a terrorist. We don't know at this point. They're still kind of looking into it and getting the latest on all of that information. But either way, isn't it odd that here we get in 2024 and bang, we've already got some kind of potential terrorist activity. And then we have this, on a broader scale, threats coming, from Houthi rebels. Take a look here on Zero Hedge. Iran dispatches warship to the Red Sea. Houthis warned of repercussions after U.S. forces kill rebels during Merrick ship attack. Regional instability risks mount in the Red Sea following the Iran.
So, you had a top leader basically get deleted. All right. So now, the wild man, as the scriptures refer to him as a wild man, he's going to revert back to his wild nature. Now they're making threats, all right, of retaliation because, again, a top leader getting deleted. All right. I think it was by a drone strike from America, if I'm not mistaken. Or I could be confused because, you still got a war going on with Russia and Ukraine. All right. So, because I don't know if it was a drone strike, or I might be confusing that with, because Russia just bombarded Ukraine with some missiles and whatnot out of retaliation because they're still going back and forth over there. Even though that's being swept under the rug right now, no one's really for the most part talking about that. But Ukrainians are still getting their ass kicked over there. But yeah, a top leader got deleted. It was by Israel. One of them, the Amalekites, actually, or it might have been America. One of the two. She might mention it. She might say it.
Fact, Houthi attack on the container ship on Sunday. U.S. forces responded with attack helicopters that eliminated 3 small boats and 10 rebels. After the skirmish, a spokesperson for the Yemen militia group warned of consequences and repercussions for the U.S. aggression. In other words, they're threatening some kind of action against the U.S. for taking action against them. Meanwhile, we've got an open border with terrorists piling in. We already know that multiple terrorists were already arrested at the border, I believe, well over 100 of them. And yet, instead of closing the border or properly vetting people coming in the border, it's still wide open. In fact, the state of Texas is getting sued by the Biden administration, we found out over this weekend, because they are daring to attempt to keep their border secure. How dare the state of Texas? Then there's one other thing that I really want to pull into this, because this is
just more and more division, which Texas for the longest has been in talks of succeeding, from the union, becoming their own, which has been said, speculated, rumored that that whole cold front situation that took place a couple of years ago was basically a hit out on Texas, because like I said, for the longest they've been trying to succeed, or they've been in talks of succeeding from Babylon. But nevertheless, it's just more division. All right. Because also what's been in the news as of lately, with Trump talking about running for president again, but in some places They're like Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. They want to take them off the ballot, so you can't even vote for them, right? Which again, more division. That's definitely going to lead to civil war, which of course that's been in the talks for this year, possibly. Because if there's no election, then there's definitely gonna all hell's gonna break loose, man. That's why I'm Lord willing to get through this video, man. Let's get through this video.
Something that it's just chilling to the very core, and I want you to hear about it because we have been told over and over again, prepare for hack attacks, prepare for cyber attacks. Everyone from the World Economic Forum to our leaders to generals to lawyers, all kinds of prominent personnel are saying, hey, be prepared, we could get hacked, especially considering we're on the brink of war with Russia and China. But either way, this is something that they've been throwing out there to us. In fact, there's a weird simulation that took place back in 2019 that I want you guys to know about because I think it really says a lot about.
And Lord, when we get through this, because this simulation she mentions, I try to do some digging on it, some research on it. So thankfully, did find a video on it, and Lord willing, gonna go ahead and play that.
What's going on? But this young lady here, I want you to hear what she has to say. This is Whitney Webb on why intelligence agencies are running election simulations. Take a listen to this.
So basically, this company called Cyber Reason was conducting unusual, I would say, simulations with the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and law enforcement in the U.S. They're not a company founded by Americans, by the way. They're all like veterans and still active, more or less, of Israeli intelligence services. And they basically conducted these simulations of what types of hacks and events, cyber attacks, could trigger the cancellation of a U.S. presidential election and the declaration.
Simulation of what types of hacks could potentially trigger the cancellation of a United States election and potentially martial law. And here's what she's referencing here. I did some research into this. I touched base on it back in 2020, but this is a great time to pull it in considering we're in 2020. On QZ.com. A 2020 U.S. election simulation just ended with 32 dead and 200 injured. It goes on to state that a team of hackers last week, back in 2019, squared off against the U.S. Secret Service, the FBI, agents from DHS, and officers of Arlington, Virginia Police Department in a simulated 2020 national election. According to a debriefing document shared with QZ, the imaginary 16-hour day ended in abject, including, among other things, a series of vehicle attacks which killed dozens of people. Hundreds were injured, and authorities were ultimately forced to cancel the vote. So because of all the chaos that transpired in this simulation, they had to cancel it. And here's kind of what they say about it. The election was canceled, and people were told to go home. The government declared a state of emergency and martial law. The leaders of the group that attacked the election were fictionist anarchist cell and were eventually identified and arrested. So that's kind of like the end of it all. But they called it Operation Blackout. That's what it was called. And they made up this fictitious swing state called Adversia that they played all this in. But basically, that's what happened during this event. So they had a red team, they had a blue team. The red team would attack, the blue team would attack. I think ultimately, I believe the red team was the one that caused the most chaos. And either way, this is a simulation. And I want to bring it up, especially in light of 2024. They simulate these things and they can cause an awful lot of rumors and speculations about what could happen in future elections. And I'll just kind of leave that out there for you to make your own opinion on this simulation. I'm not saying anything is going to happen. I have no idea. I don't know the future. All I know, if you will, to be watched and something that I'm going to watch avidly on restrictedrepublic.com. Hopefully you guys are there. But with that, what's rather interesting is right now, as soon as, again, just before Biden warns that we could be pulled into direct conflict with Russia. And mind you, if we do go to war with Russia, he could very well cancel the election. And this is on newsweek.com. Biden warns U.S. military may get pulled into direct conflict with Russia. President Joe Biden warned that the United States is at risk of being pulled into a direct conflict with Russia if the Kremlin succeeds in its war against Ukraine. And here's what he said. Overnight, Russia launched its largest on Ukraine since this war began, Biden said in a press release Friday. It is a stark reminder to the world that nearly 2 years of this devastating war, Putin's objective remains unchanged. He seeks to obliterate Ukraine and subjugate its people. He must be stopped. And here's his conclusion. The stake to this fight The stakes of this fight extend far beyond Ukraine. They affect the entirety of the NATO alliance, the security of Europe, and the future of the transatlantic relationship. When dictators and autocrats are allowed to run roughshod in Europe, the risk rises that the US gets pulled in directly. And the consequences reverberate around the world. We cannot let our allies and partners down. We cannot let Ukraine down. History will judge harshly those who fail to answer freedom's call. Sure, he read that right off his teleprompter. But anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty much the point, man. You know, yeah, man. There's a lot going on. Like I said, being circumspect, because we know the stage is being set. All right, for just all hell to break loose. You know, again, as as to push that vibration out there that, hey, 2024 is going to be a chaotic year, man. Lord willing. All right, it's going to be one hell of a year, man. You know, but I'm at this, and I'm gonna go ahead and Lord willing, because that's crazy. Both of these phones are about to die, and you know this shit was just charged up, but it's whatever. But I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna go ahead and, Lord willing, you know, do a separate video on that Operation Blackout or whatever they said it was. All right, because it's rather interesting. Just another possible scenario of, you know, something happening, or another excuse of something happening, and you know they got to cancel the elections and declare martial law and all these things. So I'm gonna just get this. And speaking of, that's the spirit, because with the tension of with the heightened tension, like they mentioned with what's going on over there at the Mediterranean and whatnot, you know, the Red Sea and whatnot, because was that Iran sent a warship over there, which is causing a lot of you know, because I saw a video earlier about, matter of fact, let me see if I can look it up real quick. I'm not gonna play it, I'm just gonna look it up real quick, because it ties into what I'm about to bring out. This what do they call it? The something dealing with the because right now, you know, in places gas is going down, right? Yeah, the gas tax holiday, right? The gas tax holiday season or whatever. So with that being said, you know, gas is, you know, fairly cheap right now, somewhat cheap. You know, the price of gas, if you're paying attention, is going down right now. But hey, peace and safety, which is what I'm about to get, right? Because again, with this situation that's going on right now, because of Iran dispatching dispatching a warship to the Red Sea, right? You know, the oil that's going to affect a lot of the shipping. You know, yeah, I can't find it, but I'm just go ahead and get this, because again, here it is, 2020, so-called, you know, the new year, 2024, starting out with a bang. All right, and people are still in that, you know, new year, new me bullshit, right? Which, you know, these people, man, more and more they're waxing worse, right? But here it is. You got the what do you call it? I just said it, the gas tax holiday. So gas is fairly cheap, right? So in 1 Thessalonians 5:3, matter of fact, verse 2. Matter of fact, start of verse 1. Because like I said, you know, we just put this information out there because we don't know. You know, at the end of the day, we don't know what, who, where, why. You know, we don't know exactly, as it tells you in verse 2. But I'm gonna start at verse 1. 1 Thessalonians 5:1. But of the times and of the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. So we know, just we understand, we have this understanding that at any moment, this shit can pop off. That's how close we are. Scriptures talk about redeeming the times, you know. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, you see, and like I was mentioning with the gas tax holiday, a lot of people are cheerful, happy that the gas is somewhat going down, right? Gas is relatively cheap, but it says, then sudden destruction cometh upon them. So you see, and the Lord always emphasizes that sudden destruction. All hell's going to break loose out of nowhere. You know, again, here it is. Everyone's talking about this new me, new year, new me bullshit. But you know, at the end of at the end of last year, Biden's talking about direct conflict with Russia. More and more America's being isolated. All right, now they're talking about terrorist attacks. Just to show you how dumbed down and docile these people are, right? Well, reading on, it says, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye brethren are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Because, hey, like the saying goes amongst brothers, hey, stay ready so we won't have to be ready. We know and understand that any moment, this shit can pop off. It says, you are all the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. And it tells you in Isaiah 60, man, that gross darkness covers the people, man. These people are just completely in complete ignorance. They have no idea what's going on. There's so much going on right now. I had to come back and real quick and because like I said, I just did it live earlier, and there's just so much going on, man. I just had to come back real quick. It's just so much going on, man. There's so much going on. It's hard to keep up. Like the scriptures talk about praying for more laborers, man, because the harvest is few. There's plenty of work to do, plenty of articles to go in and topics to touch on, but there's so much going on right now. But these people still talking about the new year, new me bullshit. Through. Here it is. We're about to see more mass job losses. Like I said, possible terrorist attacks, and it's just so much. It's a lot. But hey, Lord, want to wear the children of the light. And we ought not to walk as the children of the darkness, man. Just ignorance, just of not knowing. It says, therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep in the night and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for Slakia, and for an helmet the hope of salvation. All right, so you see, man, hey, we're gearing up, we're getting ready. Spiritually speaking, we're getting ready for warfare. Spiritually speaking, we're strapping on our breastplate, our girdle, and everything, man. Spiritually speaking, because hey, this shit is about to pop off. This shit is about to pop off. But these people, they're just in that state of delusion, of hypnosis, of optimism, of that normalcy bias. 2024 is going to be my year. Niggas been saying that every year since. This is going to be my year. And the times are just waxing worse and worse. The price of everything is going up, and and again, don't let the fact that gas is going down, don't let that shit fool you, man. Don't let that fool you. Hey, man, we just know at any moment this thing can pop off. So be ready, be circumspect, be on the ready. Like I said, you stay ready so we won't have to be ready. But like I said, Lord willing, as far as that Operation Blackout, Lord willing to do a separate video on it, because yeah, man, for whatever reason, it's Satan. Both these phones were charged and I ain't got no battery, but it's all good. But Lord willing, this is edifying. All praise to you. How about Shema Shai? Shalom to you, hopefully let.